Okay. Okay. As you talk, I will just, yeah.
I know this meeting is being recorded. So as I went through with Abigail and Mingyu yesterday about the essays, in general, the essays are well written insofar as you followed the framework, and it's obvious that most of you did quite a fair bit of research in depth into the different things that I asked you to put in. So in general, it is well written. Now, what I had therefore suggested is that to take it into the next level, and mainly because we do want to publish it as part of your pedagogical documentation, as part of this journey of possibilities, then you do have to not be academic about it. You're not writing this because it's an admission test to get into university, or for your A levels, or for your baccalaureate, international or otherwise, right? So you have to link it more practically and more real to what you are doing, for example, in the project, or what's closest to your heart or your passion or pursuit, or the service that you would like to provide, etc. Simple example, as I had mentioned yesterday, when many of you wrote about dignity as a governance principle, all well written, you cover all the bases about dignity and about mutual respect and all that. So, faultless. But then what does that truly mean when you talk about the linkage with a caring economy, and not from a kumbaya, hands around campfire kind of thing? How does dignity as a governance principle, and when you activate it, and then it goes into the market, it goes into society, it goes into the governance of society, how does that really work for you, or how does it not work for you, for example, right? So that would make your individual essays richer and more truer to life, right? Because one of the things with Google is that you can easily, very easily, Google and find out many things, right? Uh, Including how to cheat on an exam, how to make a homemade bomb, which I certainly don't advise you to do. I repeat, because it's being recorded, which I certainly do not advise you to do. In fact, strongly caution you against looking for those kind of search words or search items. The more important thing is that when you try to Google, you cannot Google the practical elements of things, right? The day-to-day, what does that make it real, right? So you have to give deeper thought into that. Thirdly, I also mentioned to Abigail and Mui yesterday that when you write essays, and you notice that when we send out quite a number of our materials and documentations, you see that we write, we choose words, but we also add graphics, we add visuals, we add pictures. It can even be drawings, it can even be doodlings or doodles. There's no such thing as doodlings, actually. Doodles, for example. And even in our conversations every Thursday with all the youth stewards, as Pengen, myself, Bernadette would always say, look at all the things that you are doing, right? It's not just one thing. It's not just about, for example, doing arts, but it's also doing sports. It's not just about sports. It's also about mental fitness. It's not just about economics. It's also about social sciences. I mean, the point is, you should be enriching it by looking at all the other things that you would like to add on, right? For example, what would your definition of human dignity as a governance principle? Maybe you saw something right? And you took a picture or you drew something, or there's a particular song, particular set of lyrics that you think best captures that, then put that in, right? Because then that gives a much more nuance, a much richer, a much deeper understanding to people as well. Likewise, when you're looking about your formation context, the 4 Ws: who am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Right? I mean, when you put down words, it only goes so far to explain certain things. But then when you add, for example, maybe uh, baby photos, for example, photos of you at your first kindergarten graduation, right? Your first swimming lesson, for example, the first song that you ever co-wrote or composed lyrics to, right? I mean, all these things then gives a much richer, a much rounded, a much fuller, right? Picture of who you are and what you are thinking about, you see. So that is something that I wanted to bring it out there. Certainly, I didn't say all this at the start because, I didn't want this to turn into one of those homework, right? Right from the start, I said, this is not a piece of schoolwork. It's not a piece of homework. This is not a piece of academia. I certainly don't expect you to do, what it is basically a mini dissertation or thesis. No, but I wanted you to give deep thought, deep thinking, and then relate it to yourself on a much more profound level. Right? So for it to be well written, grammar and all that, that's already covered. Yeah, you got it, and I don't expect any less from each and every one of you. That to me is already a given, right? That's like expecting you to be able to walk, let alone run. You've mastered that, decades ago, well, decade and a half ago, since you haven't even hit your second decade yet, right? Now, what I found is that looking again at this last night, two of the essays are on the short side, right? So that'll be Jerome and Isaac. Of course, I'm not necessarily saying that I'm going for quality, quantity, sorry, my fault, my bad, my mistake. I'm not, just because something is short and concise does not mean it's not quality work. So I'll be the first to say that. But at the same time as well, if it's short and formulaic, right, when you write almost as a formula, then it's too um, it's too superficial. It's just at the tip. Okay, the analogy I always use is an iceberg. Okay, hands up those who don't know what's an iceberg. Hands up those who don't know what's an iceberg. Okay, so who knows what's an iceberg? Silence. So who knows what's an iceberg? Silence. Okay, I'll repeat for the last time. What is an iceberg? Somebody reply, please. Well, you have to unmute. Hello? Can all of you hear me? Hello? Pengen, can you hear me? Hello? Abigail, can you hear me?
A big block of ice.
Was that Jerome?
Yes.
Right? Well, what did you say again, Jerome?
A big block of ice.
Okay, close enough, a big block of ice. Although, what comes out of my fridge can often be a big block of ice as well. It's certainly not an iceberg, right? It's basically a huge mass of solid ice, right? And it is found, as you know, in the polar regions. Okay, so that's an iceberg. So what I use as the metaphor and analogy as iceberg is because what you see as the iceberg and what the Titanic saw is merely the tip that's floating above sea level. But what you don't see is actually the mass, in fact, the huge solid mass that lurks, okay, below the surface. Okay, so that solid mass that lurks below the surface is the one that you have to watch out for. Yes, Peng An?
Saif, it's 2:20, so I'm a bit mindful of our time. Today,
Understand.
it's the last day of the mentorship already.
Mhm.
Okay, everybody has to finish, all right? So this is the last nugget of advice on the essay already. It's been recorded. If you want to review it. But 11:59 tonight, everything in by tonight will be publishable. Okay? So make it good and make it count. We're going to publish your work as our pedagogical provocation for the next few stewards. Okay? Yeah, so we're serious. We've told you this is a serious thing, and being serious is fun. I thought about it. Your work all is very, very good, very worthy of publication. That's why we are supporting it. Okay? It will go everywhere. Yeah? So make it good, make it count. You have enough time. After 4 o'clock when the webinar ends, just get to finish it. 2:18 now. Okay? Now, I can still be available to support at 5 o'clock if you all need anything to finish. I think Chantel, probably the guidance on the timesheet. Okay, so now you're going to see my CFO face, okay, and board meeting face. So we prepare board decks and all that like this, okay, and it's always last minute. You try as whatever you want to do, it will come to this point. So this is the point where I say every day you have to be very fit. So 2:18 and timekeeper, okay. You got to get the timesheet out. You got to get the Google Forms. You got to decide to award the button, right? Based on the respondents. Jerome, your video needs to be up. Isaac, your indemnity release form and location release form needs to be up. Okay, and it needs to be signed by everybody in the group who is involved in the video. There are videos that we have collectively recorded together that is intended to be pedagogical provocation library for the youth stewards, for the Bilberries Blue Youth Stewardship program, as well as we have accountability to TJC WOW mentorship as well. And this is the record of your work. Of course, if in future we want to produce it together with the other either youth stewardship program or I think what was interesting was this 2 weeks that we had actually done work experience, yeah, and work shadowing of a sustainable entrepreneur. So I think there's actually a lot of good stuff there. We had many amazing moments, and not just that. And then the essay sessions with Saif, I see as like a supervision, huh, Saif? Yeah, it's marvelous. You got Saif, who's from Harvard Kennedy School, Master of Public Administration, ex-civil servant, been in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You cannot find another greater supervisor on global relations and governance. So I hope you treasure the time that you had with him and that we've arranged for him to make time for you. Okay? So Abigail, Muye, anything on your side?
Joining today's call. She already threw the reasons.
Richard? Oh yeah, the notice board was put up at
Yeah,
the supermarket yesterday. So that's the hard and
That's the one with the tomatoes, right?
Yeah, we went through a couple of evolution of it. We didn't eventually use the text that Muya and Abigail prepared. But I think the ideation and the discussion was really helpful in us finalizing it at the end, and we did it together. So there's a lot of things. If I were to document this and share it as part of knowledge development, it's just absolutely rich. These 2 weeks. We have 10 minutes left. I'm just wondering how we would let the others know that the Temasek Junior College students have decided it's just going to be a 1 month stint rather than carrying on with the journey of possibilities. We would still like to invite all of you to journey with us, even privately if you want to. Okay, because
Again, you broke off just now.
Yeah, we would still like to invite all of you to journey with us, even privately. Okay, think about it. Don't say no yet, because we will culminate in Cambridge. There's a Bilberries summer school in summer of 22, and this kind of opportunities don't come by. Maybe not even once in anyone's life. So, give it a serious thought, and then discuss it with your parents and your teachers. So we won't say anything just yet, okay? Yeah, to the others. But what we would like to do is share the 2 weeks. Saif, instead of just a offsite work experience, I think there were 2 parts to this, right?
Sorry, Peng An, you just broke off.
Okay, there were 2 parts to these 2 weeks. There was the essay and there was the work experience. So we will have to find another, because you had a couple of sessions and I have the sessions that we curated. But when we were talking to Mrs. Lau, essentially it was more of a multi-part, you know. Yeah, and there was a part where you had to do a self-evaluation as well. You can do it after tonight, okay? You don't need to do the self-evaluation now. But if you're already ready, you can also do the self-evaluation. The self-evaluation has 2 parts, yeah? Your own personal, and you put your own metrics, okay? And then the team. And the team one, you have to do it as a team. Okay, and you have to be very honest with each other as well. You got to have the hard conversation, and you have to spoken from kindness, okay? Yeah, so this one you can do after 11:59, but 11:59 you shoot for the things that are on your plate, shoot for it to finish. If you can't finish it, raise your hand and ask for help, okay? So I'll be here to support you from 5 to 11:59 tonight, because I took a walk this morning. I actually texted Mrs. Lau. I texted something that says, I will let them fail. When you have to wonder why I said that. When I woke up this morning. Okay? And then I took a long walk, and then I decided you guys will succeed by 11:59. So I made myself available from 5 to 11:59. Let's close this, run well, finish it well together, okay? So 5 minutes to 2:30. How would you as a group, you're representing Temasek Junior College in the WOW mentorship program, to the youth stewards of from Malaysia and Philippines, okay? How would you share your last 2 weeks in writing the essay and the mentoring sessions, the work experience? The work experience could have been anything. Could have been on-site. We've chosen off-site. And it could have been a task, right? But we've chosen work shadowing. You shadowed my work and my day, because that gives you the biggest and widest perspective of running an organization, because I am the CEO of my organization, if you haven't figured it out yet. And the co-founder, and the chairman of my board, and the shareholder of my own company. Okay? Got it? Gave you the bird's eye view. You had a mini executive program, okay? Business school. But richer than that, it's sustainability, it's sustainable entrepreneurism. That's why I reached out to Saif, because that piece I can't do. I don't know how to do the governance piece and the politics piece and the international relations piece. Okay, so this was how it was actually prepared for you, now that you know and have that context. And we wouldn't have told you right from day one, because then that would be an instruction. But this is a very honest pre-debrief, because we would like you to succeed. As personally, personally, and more importantly, together, because we succeed only as a team. Okay? And personally, both actually. It's the end, not all. Ready? You're gonna go in cold already, you know. You could have prepared a video, but if you didn't, you're gonna go in cold. Every one of you will have time to speak at the webinar, and I hope you'll turn on your video. Okay? Turn on your video and represent yourself well, fully, like this. Okay? Even if you have your mask on, and speak. Yeah? It's okay lah. Okay, it's okay. I know, fierce. I can sound very fierce like this, but it's still okay. It's still the same Ping An that played with you for 2 weeks. Okay.
And I'll be available 9 to 11:59. So I'm also available.
To publishable level. So 9 to 11:59. Slot that time to get your essays to be publishable level PDF next. Before 11:59, we can even load it up on Bilberries.
You can text me on the group chat, or you can even text me individually. It's no problem. 9 to 11:59, I'll make
I can even turn on the Zoom for us if we need to be together.
No problem. Yeah.
Okay, got it? Ready? We're letting the others in. Okay, I'm going to stop recording this session.
Okay.
Okay, picture.
Are you taking a picture now?
Take picture, yeah, take picture. Because it was a serious talk. So scary, right?
Okay, let me put light in.
Some of my talks are even scarier, and they're often
curtains.
They're often to board chairmen and CEOs and business partners. They're very scared of me when I get serious. Smile. So don't worry if you got scared just now. It's called game face. Can you practice some game faces? Game face, remember. When you enter an arena, game face. Okay? Got it? Huh?
Got mask hard to do game face.
Game eyes then.
Matahari eyes.
Yeah. All right, got it. Mwah. Okay, now game face, go in. Let's go, we're in the arena.
Okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1 on record.